Everyone is now an artist. With the latest updates coming from the Stable Diffusion community, you now have full control of the entire Stable Diffusion. Everything from posing characters to changing characters to editing things to drawing from just sketches. It's insane. You have to check this video out or be dead. Alright guys, so the name of the tool is ControlNet. Basically what it is, the easiest way to show it would be to show how it works. Okay, I'm gonna take this image here and then I'm gonna replace the person in an image. So which is similar to image if you ever use image to image, but it's a way better. So let me show you. Okay, so I'm gonna replace this person with Widowmaker, who's a character from a video game. I'm gonna be using a Laura that I trained here that has a bunch of 3D characters and stuff. If you want to get that, you can check the link in the description. So now when I generate an image, you're gonna see what happens here. If you're familiar with what Widowmaker looks like, then you should already know that this looks exactly like her. It looks like the person in the image, but it also looks like Widowmaker. If you tried to do this with image to image, it wouldn't yield the same result. It's like image to image, but you have extra control over the network. Basically what it does is it takes this image, well, I mean, there's a bunch of different effects here. Well, I say effect, but a bunch of different ways of working with the data or whatever. It takes the image, it gives you like this sort of thing, and then it uses that as like a guideline for how it's gonna fill in the thing. And then it takes whatever I put here, and then it attempts to apply the thing to it. Like if I decided to say like, instead of Widowmaker, I put like Emma Watson, and you generate, and you can see here what it does. One of the things about this is that it adheres to the structure of the image so much that it makes it harder to change the overall thing. If I change this model to a more realistic model, so now this is the same image with a more realistic model. The thing is that because it adheres so strongly to the overall shape of the image, if you try to take like an anime person and put it on a real person, it's harder to make it shift. Instead of just taking the image, kind of taking that as a general guideline, like what image to image would do, it actually takes the image. I'll show an example of what this image would look like if it were used with image to image here, and this is just one of the different ways you can do it. Another way you can do it, you can take the depth of the image instead. Depth should be more set up for this sort of thing. So I'll show you what that means in a second here. Now it's the same thing, but this was what it generated. So you can see that there's no hard lines like the first one. So it has more of an ability to change the thing, and since this is literally an anime image to a real person, you end up with, it's harder to kind of make that work. So you can see like what it does. It takes the person here and actually makes it work now. Cool thing about this you can do is you can actually draw stuff. So I'm gonna create a canvas here. I'm actually gonna go back to the anime model for this. So I think you have to set it to the sketch one and the scribble one here. And then this is where it gets really interesting, right? So you can do something like, say, draw a building. As you can see here, I'm a very talented artist. I spent years working on my mouse drawing ability, and you can see it's finally paying off. I'm about to retire. Anyway, so you come here, you make sure it's enabled, make sure that's on, and then I have what? Okay, well, don't have that. I want to have building here, and now you're gonna see what happens here. It generates your image. I mean, it needs to have good input, good output. You know what I mean? So that's why this image looks so good, because this was basically a perfect image that I did here. That's why it looks so good. I think what you want to reduce is the guidance strength, because you kind of want to make this lower, since you're drawing a vague image here, so you don't want it to look exactly the same as this, right? And if I generate this image, you'll see it basically takes your image as a guideline and actually constructs a building. And you can do this. I could probably like do what? I could have like what, a street or something. Let's do this. Let's do this. Building, street. Make sure you have that in there. Okay, it needs to know generally what it's supposed to create. So as you can see here, it didn't do what I wanted it to do. Like trees and stuff. Add trees to the thing now. Now it might get it. Okay, what the heck? If you increase this, it'll follow your thing more, but then it might make the image look weird. Okay, it's just ignoring the street. It's giving me the tree here. It's giving me the tree. Just gonna create a new canvas here. All right, we're gonna do some trees. And then you can see how easy this is. So I come here now. Let's say I draw my horizon or something. I have my tree here that has its thing. And then I generate. And you can see I get my tree there. I get my tree. And then I could come here now and add another tree. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Add another tree. And now I get another tree. Another one. I could come in here, add like another tree, and then you have your other tree again, right? You can add a whole forest of trees. You can add a million of them. Just keep going, you know, and then see what it does with the general thing here. But the important part is you have more control now, because it's taking your image, it's actually augmenting it. I just swapped it to a more realistic model. I'm going to use the same seed, and then I'm going to generate the image again, and this should be a more realistic version of the last thing that I just did. Or not. Or is it? Actually, I can't 100% tell because I can't see that well through my glasses, but I'm just gonna assume. And it's pretty crazy because it's not just stuff like this. You could like say, for example, I don't even know if this is gonna work. What do rabbits even look like? I can't remember. Also, I don't know if this model is good at doing rabbits. Rabbit. And like, yeah, you get your rabbit. It gives me like a 2D rabbit. Photo, rabbit photo. Try to make it into a real rabbit now. So now, you see, I get a real rabbit now. Add pizzazz, like depth of field or something. Depth of field. Yeah, now you're getting your depth of field rabbit here. Let's say I made the rainfall, right? I could do this and then say raining. Okay, well, that just looks like leaves there. I guess it could be raining leaves. Oh my god. Okay, let's try again. Give it to me. Now it looks like sparks. Actually, let's say sparks and see what happens. Sparks. Whoa. See, now we got spark rabbit. And this is a really cool thing that you can do. You have way more control because you have the access to the prompt, you have access to your model, you have access to LoRa's, and then you have access now to actually being able to draw on the image. And you can do like whatever you want here, right? There's a bunch of different ways you can use it to control the image. Let me give you an example here. So I'm going to use this image here, which is an AI generated image now. So now it's just like AI inception, I guess. There's a bunch of different modes here, right? I'm not going to explain all of them, but I'm going to explain this one here. This takes the pose of the image. Because the other modes that I showed takes more of the essence of the image in a direct sense. This literally just takes the pose. So you can actually make a lot of changes here. So I'm going to use an anime image. Remember before, when I used an anime image with a person, it got like weird results and stuff. But now I'm going to show you it getting more normal results. So Emma Watson, and you'll see what this does. The pose that she has in the image is very similar to the pose that this person has in the image. Because with this one, whereas the other ones were taking like shapes of the image or the depth of the image, this one is taking the pose of the image. What ControlNet is doing is using a bunch of different ways of influencing the image. Then you take that depending on what your need is, and you can use that to do what you want, right? With this, for example, it takes the pose, and you can see that she's basically in the same pose, and you can see what it generates here. This is like a preview of what it generates. So this is the shoulders of the person. These are the hands of the person. This is not the legs. This is the hips here. So the legs aren't shown in the thing, because this would stop here, right? So the legs don't show in the thing. Whereas before, you were getting these weird results. When you do like anime to anime, it works, but if you do anime to person, it didn't work before, right? You can now take an anime image and then use that to drive another image. And the cool thing is this works with anything. For example, you can do like Makima. I think I have a Makima inversion thing. So if I say Makima, who's like a character from Chainsaw Man. So if I do this, I could also apply it to this image here. And now you see what Makima looks like. And you can see her copying the pose. She has the hands, she has the eyes and whatever. And you can use this to control the image. But there's another tool. So this tool just came out recently, Open Pose Editor. What this does is it basically gives you this window where you can make like a custom pose or something. So let me show you how this will work. So you can effectively, so remember the same kind of pose thing that we saw earlier? You can actually use this to generate like new ones of those things. You could take this and say like you have someone, let's say they're jumping or something. So this is, you kind of have this on the side there. So your shoulders like this. So your hips are here, your legs are bent. So we do something like this. Send to ControlNet. We say jumping, and now you see what this looks like. So I change the size of this. You can see what this does, right? Now, using this puppet tool, you have the ability to almost control what the person does in the image. Her hand is going to be here. Her other hand's going to be here. She's going to look like this. It doesn't have to be Emma Watson. I could change this to say like Gal Gadot. So this is Gal Gadot doing the jumping. I can say like Widowmaker. Yeah, you can do like Widowmaker. You can also do things yourself. You can take pictures of yourself and then use that as the basis. And you can either use the edge detect stuff, the depth stuff, or the pose stuff, whichever one would be the most convenient for what you're trying to achieve. And if all of those things fail, you can always just draw the thing it is that you want. You could do like a fantasy setting, fantasy castle, generate my image here. Yeah, what you see here is that this is obviously garbage, but this is intentional, right? I intentionally made this like terrible. So what you would want to do, I think you would want to drop this down to not make it follow your thing so hard. And then maybe, as you can see, you get the exact same image. So what you want to do there is drop this even lower. And then as you can see here, it still mostly doesn't work. So you put it back up to really high and then you draw the image better is what you do. So you kind of just try to like make this look more like it's an obvious castle and stuff. To be fair, you want to use a model that lines up better with the overall thing that you're trying to do here. Come on, give me my castle right now. King in the castle, king in the castle. No, so this is not, I mean, I guess this one kind of works. So what you kind of do this, probably. It's gonna take some trial and error here, guys. Now it's giving me like what a force field around the castle. Like, what is this? Okay, let me try it. Oh, I have it on the same seed here. Let me actually try a different seed. It's giving me a force field around my castle here. What model am I on? Okay, maybe this is a more diverse model. King in the castle, king in the castle. No, it's not. It keeps just putting something around my castle. Okay, so this is kind of the thing. It follows what you do a little too much sometimes. So I have to try to make this better. So like how these castles kind of look. That's how these kind of look here. Not really a castle kind of guy. But what? Oh! Yes! Success? Question mark? I'm gonna call that question mark success right there. And I probably do something like this. Oh god, there's no way this is gonna look correct. Oh god, no. Too many errant lines. It's not gonna know what to do. Let me try that again. Oh, yep. Now we have our castle here, guys. And you can do other stuff too. So for example, you could add like some, you know, like something like this. And say that the castle is on a mountain. No! No! Wait, this is actually kind of what it looks like, actually. I just realized how this looks if you don't know what I'm going for here. What happens if I do this? Okay, now I'm just putting lines on the thing and seeing what happens. What the hell is this? Let's say alien. Let's see what it does. Avert your eyes, guys. No! Wait, what the hell? What is even that? I'm actually genuinely scared of what it might generate if I do this. Let's make it happy. So let's say happy alien, so it doesn't give me anything too scary. Oh my god! What the hell is this? Okay, let's go again. Let me generate another one. Yeah, you see? Happy alien. Oh, it's actually giving me like a happy Halloween, like an actual birthday message or whatever, guys. Anyway, guys, using these new tools, there is no limit to how terrible your drawings can become using Stable Diffusion. It's as low as you possibly want, and I wanted it to be very low, which is why I made the video like it is. If you thought the artwork was terrible, then make sure to like the video, come back and watch the other videos, and I'll catch you on the videos that you watch.